welcome to Gulfstream today, and welcome to Gulfstream Park. And as you see on our screen, I had a little bit of rain last night, so we're going to start the day with a good main track and a good turf course. So good to start the day, but it seems to be a beautiful afternoon about to start. Another 5 minutes before
good right
noon.
now.
It's good right now. It feels good. It's nice and comfortable here. So a good main track, a good turf course, and lots of news to tell you about as far as the wagering happening today and what happened yesterday. So we'll run through that wagering menu. In the first race, we have a super high five carryover of, you see it there, $2,274. And usually when there's a carryover in there, they bet it pretty good. Of course, we got the early pick 5 this afternoon with races 1 through 5, a 50-cent wager. Then in race number 5, because it is a 10-race card, we're going to start the Rainbow Six, and you see there was no carryover. Someone hit it yesterday, one single ticket, a 20-cent wager, paid $618,643.20. It was bought out of one of our simulcast satellite places in Curacao. They bought like $10,000 worth of tickets, and they had to get that. One of them was that lucky ticket. But with that said, when we go to race number 6, it was a tough day yesterday. We have a carryover today in the late pick 5 of almost $36,000. And when we have a carryover in this, boy, do they bet it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we don't have the Rainbow Six. We're starting anew. Of course, you can bet it. And usually the first day back, it pays pretty nicely. And, of course, the late pick 5 with the carryover. And I'll show you one of my tickets when we get to that race. But let's go to race number 1. And I mentioned that carryover in the super high five, so I put a little ticket together here, but I'm going to still like my 3 horses, so I went 8, 6, 7, all for $30, and that's a $1 wager run super high five ticket. And there you see it right there. So if we see you get that done, the current favorite up there did not use it on my ticket at 1 to 9 is the 3 horse, but very early in the wagering. I saw the first race as the number 8, very Stella, who used tactical speed to break his maiden at this $16,000 level back on February 10th. Stretches out to a mile after failing to fire when coming from off the pace last time out. I think he'll be prominently placed today in a race lacking in the speed department. I think this horse might, and I see you have it on your ticket too.
We went the same way
well,
in here.
I just saw him as the only speed Indian. I thought I saw him on the morning line like at 8 to 1 or something like that, and I just thought he was the logical choice in there because of that tactical advantage he has.
Absolutely, and dropping the notch, there isn't really any pace in here. It's got 1 win from 3 starts, so not a horse that's run a whole bunch of times, and you're looking at a bunch of races. Was at this distance on the surface, and this 4-year-old looks like a really good fit in here. The 7.5 distance, he'll be really close, and the pace setter, I think.
Well, number 6, Run Saichi, who we both have in second, is turning back to a mile today. He had encountered some trouble last time out. We're going to go back and show you a spotlight of what happened to this horse last time out, Run Saichi. And you'll see him on the inside. He is the number 9 this afternoon, and he's moving up the railing. Looks like he's going to make a pretty good move into the inside of there, and you'll see he's got to, slam on the brakes and pull back, and he really didn't get, much of a chance. He got knocked off stride. And I thought that was enough to impede his chances today. He's turning back. He got a check. He was beaten 4 lengths against Similar. That was going a mile into 16th. I think he fares better at a mile, and certainly will fare better with a clean trip.
Right. Probably the hardest thing for him is that he's got to come running in a race that really does lack speed, but he's dropping a notch in here. She's dropping a notch in here, and shortening up a little bit, which is also a little bit, hurts her a little bit against Stella.
And number 7, Ibriku, moved to the Ramon Moyer barn via the claim and is dropping a notch on the claiming scale to this 12.5 level. After, according to his short line, if you read his last line, trouble line, it said that he bled in that race. The new connections, Tab Orlando Boca Chica the ride. So that happens every once in a while. Even if a horse has Lasix, he might bleed through the Lasix that particular day. I'm just reading what it said on the comment line. I did not see it myself. I just thought this horse fit with this level of competition.
Sure. And Boca finished, Boca Chica had a nice couple of finishes for more money with this horse, and the horses had the basically the proper and logical amount of time, a little bit over a month.
Yeah, so we'll see how that first race plays out. And don't forget, we got that super high five carryover starting in there. And as the pools build, you'll see just how much is in there. Let's go to race number 2, 6 furlongs claimers, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $6,250. Jockey change on number 7. Make the rider Eddie Castro. And Eddie Castro, a 3-win day yesterday. And boy, it's hard not to have the number 6 big distinction on top of your ticket. He moved to the Antonio Sano Bonvita claim. I think he's sitting on a winning performance today after responding to a drop in competition. Beating the neck, he was the odds-on choice that day at this level of distance. Off that performance, certainly looks like the one to beat.
Yeah, I mean, claimed out of that last effort and just missed as the beaten favorite. Could have a little bit of company up front in here, but I thought this horse pretty much stood out to me.
Yeah, and I went with the number 2, Little Awesome in second. It was making what looked like a winning bid prior to flattening out and finishing 4th behind. Big distinction last time out. So keying off that race, Antonio Sano. He's got 5-pound apprentice John Cruz, who's been riding in good form. I threw this one on the ticket, but there's other ways to go in here besides having the number 6 big distinction on your ticket. And if you watch the races yesterday, horses looked like they were in a good spot, didn't win. That's why we had so many long shots yesterday. So you went with the number 4, Kulak in second.
Yeah, and he drops here. He's got the turf tightener on him, and he's got some tactical speed, which, you know, the track may play a little bit different than we saw yesterday with the moisture in it.
Yeah, so we'll see how it works out. That's a good point that you make. Watch how the surfaces are playing today after that rain that we had last night. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, we're starting with a good main track and a good turf course. Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs. These are claimers. They're 4-year-olds and upward. They're running for a $6,250 tag. And this race, 7 runners in the field. We're basically sort of in agreement here, but your top pick is different than mine. You went with the number 5, and that is Over and Back. And let's hear about that horse first.
Yeah, I think this horse has the ability to run down these kind of horses. He looks like that the speed could hook up in front and set it up for him.
Yeah, I went with the horse that you have in third on top of my ticket, CD Gold, cutting back the 5.5 furlongs again after following the victory at this level and distance with an equally sharp score versus this caliber competition. That was going 6 furlongs last time out. It's George Navarro, apprentice Carlos Hernandez going for the 3-peat. He's been on this horse the last couple of times, so he knows how to ride him. First time he went a little too fast. He still was able to win. Second time he ran him really good. So Carlos Hernandez on that ticket. Looks like the one to beat in there is going to be a very short price favorite, I believe, in there. So looking another way like you did with the 5 is actually pretty good. That one 12-1 on the line. That's what you like to see. The other horse that I used on my ticket was the 3 Bold Summit, claimed for $12,500 last out by William Theranos. The gelding drops. Set the early pace last time out. He weakened late, going 7/8 of a mile. New connections to have Jesus Rios to ride there. So on that ticket, now I know you used the number 7 horse, so we both did.
Yep.
Cupid's hit on our ticket.
Yeah, I thought he wouldn't be far back in this race, and this Louisiana Invader has plenty of class, plenty of wins, 17 of them, and plenty of money behind him that says he's one of the ones to beat, and the connections are doing well.
Yeah, the connections are doing well. Bruno Tesori, everything he's running has been running very well. And MSCL Jaramillo, came here from Venezuela during the championship meeting. Actually, a little before that, has been riding in great form since he arrived.
Great.
I mean, he was competitive with all the top jockeys in the country when he was here. So number 7, Cupid's Hit's a logical choice on that ticket. Let's go to race number 4. And this is a really nice race. And this one is a 1-mile turf event, maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and upward. And we do have a scratch in here, a couple of scratches in here of the number 1, Bueno Gusto, and the number 6, She Reads My Text. That's not a good idea. And the main track only, the number 10 is still in, but Gabe Prude, our track announcer, will update you on all those scratches and stuff that you need when you come back. Number 2, Big Rock, as I mentioned, we're going to go back and show you this horse's performance last time. I thought it was a pretty nice performance. He was turning for home, and you'll you'll see him right here. He comes through, and as it rolls, he's the number 4, and then he splits horses here, turning for home, and I just thought it was a really nice performance. I think this is an easier spot, and there you see him getting through between horses. What I like to see with a horse, and I know you know, being a former rider, that shows to me that the horse is,
he's got some game.
He's got some game. You know, he runs very well in here, and I just think that little bit of where he had to stop that little bit gave the momentum to the 12 horse on the outside of him. So, this horse, a Big Rock, certainly looks like a big player in this spot this afternoon.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's got the speed with the scratch of she reads my text. I thought that horse probably had the most speed, but Big Rock, I think, will be right up close to the lead and might like that, and a barn known for these kind of runners. Yeah,
let's show you a stat on this barn. Talking about that, Christophe Clement, you can see him. He's 12 for 45, 27%. He's 56% of the money. Positive ROI with horses making a 61 to 180-day layoff, maiden special weight turf in the past 5 years. That's this guy's game.
Right.
I talk Christopher, I mean his whole barn, of course, but that is what they do, and they do it well. So I wanted to show you that, stat, and you saw that performance last time, and I just think that when the horse had to just wait there, I think the 12 got first run on him and beat him to the wire. Who else did you use on your ticket?
I had number 7, Street Gun, making his second start. Got some nice works following that last race. So a little bit more tighteners off the layoff, and he's got that one under him. And the last time was first time LASIK. So I thought he just came up a little bit empty, and I think he'll be much fitter and good, be tough.
Number 4, Lottery Ticket, who faced some strong turf competition during the championship meet. Needs a little improvement on his recent second place finish at this level and distance to shed that maiden status. The trainer is Ralph Nix, and Eddie Castro will be in the saddle this afternoon. And we mentioned Eddie Castro had a good day yesterday, so a Lottery Ticket, one of the horses that I used on my ticket. But we both used the number 3, and this one is Fedestov. This one is a beautifully bred son of Smart Strike, debuting for Todd Pletcher. So right there, your bells have to be ringing, with a series of consistent works showing at Palm Beach Downs. He gets LASIK, looks like a logical contender there. A first-time starter from Todd Pletcher. That is a strong angle here in South Florida.
Yeah, this horse looks like, he's a lot of the barn has gone up north, but they've certainly left some here, and I think they're wanting to really well spot them and get some maidens broken and get some horses going. And this horse, I think, according to her pedigree, she should like the surface. That shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it should run very well in there, and he's a beautifully bred son of Smart Strike, like I said. So the horses stay down. They get a chance to run on the turf down here before they ship them up north to wherever they're going, and before they come back here for the championship meet. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll tell you about the 5th race and about the Rainbow 6. We'll be right back. Welcome back to race number 5. It is 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. It's an allowance, optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up, $25,000. The only scratch thus far is the number 10, Amazon King. As I mentioned, the 2 main track onlys, 11 and 12, are still in, but they might be out by now. And that's why you got to listen to Gabe when he comes here, our track announcer. After we're done, he'll update you on all those things you need to have your fun day and a winning day here at Gulfstream Park. I mentioned the Rainbow 6 was hit yesterday for more than $600,000. So we're starting.
Nice weekend.
We're starting anew. Here's my ticket for today, and you'll see as it comes up, and you'll look in race number 8. Once again, I'm trying to get a single home in a tough race, and that is number 9, Path Dependent, 2-1 on the morning line. 3, 2, 3. That's single 2 and 4. $28.80, and starts the Rainbow Six anew today. And I used the number 4 Boss Man on top of my ticket. I didn't see her selections yet. This one cutting back to a mile into 16, dropping to this $25,000 allowance optional claiming level after following that $50,000 optional claiming score at the distance. Comes back, runs second versus $35,000 optional claimers, going a mile and 3/16 last time out. So turning back sure looks like the logical horse in here on the board at 9-5, and rightly so.
Yeah, this horse is always a contender, got that good, effective stalking style, and you really can't see a bad race on his form either. There are no bad races.
Yeah, he's run very well, and I think he's as they say, the one to beat, and one of the horses I did use on my ticket. Second horse we both have on our ticket is the number 5 Lucky Kitten, who's stepping up the competition today after posting his second consecutive turf victory when defeating $16,000 claimers. Won that race by like 4.5 lengths. That was going 9 furlongs last time out. Always like horses when you're dealing with this level of competition that show, good recent form, and that's just what this horse is doing. David Forks claimed him last time out, and he adds MCL Jaramillo in the saddle, and I just thought this is a son of Kitten's Joy, and I think this is almost a lateral move where I would not be surprised if this horse won.
Yeah, what I like too about this horse, I thought he was the speed of this race. Unless number 1 kind of wakes back up and shows speed that horse has shown before, I really didn't see other speed to go with Lucky Kitten. So I thought that made him really dangerous.
And as we mentioned, we got the good turf course today, so watch that earlier turf race, see how they run it. I want to talk about the number 3, Reconfigure. This one now in the Mark Cassie barn. He's a son of Lemon Drop Kid, and he's making his first start since breaking his maiden at First Asking. Always back here on December 20th, 2014. We're going to show you a stat here from Mark Cassie over the last 5 years. First after a trainer switch, which this horse did, and a layoff of longer than 180 days. He's 2 for 16, 13%, 56% in the money, but only $1.45 ROI. Hasn't done it that many times, only, as you see, 16 times. Just a stat that I'd like to throw out there. First time in his barn, but there's a lot of ifs here. This horse has not run in more than 16 months. So Reconfigure on my ticket. How'd you close out your ticket?
Yeah, I closed mine out with the 6 Montauk Man, and I thought if you throw out the muddy off the turf event, this horse is consistently in the hunt, and, I thought he'd enjoy a battle up front. I don't really see that unfolding, but I think that would help his chances.
Well, I think they all have to have their running shoes on, as they say, to beat the number 4, Boss Man. It looks like he's the boss in there. Let's flip the page and go to race number 6, and this is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 in life, $12,500. Scratch both the number 13, Perdido Playboy, and the number 14, Unlocked in here. And as I mentioned, we have a pretty nice carryover in the late pick 5 today, over $35,000. When we have a carryover, boy, do they bet it. So I put together a late pick 5 ticket I want to show you here right now, and this one comes up. I'm going too deep here, 1 and 5, and then you see 3, 2, 2, and then 4. I think the 10th race today, the final race on the card, is wide open. One of those horses I have on there is a 20-to-1 shot. I went with the number 5, Imaginary Road, on top of my ticket. He's dropping a notch to the 12.5 level, tracked the pace, and finished third behind a repeat winner called Market Outlook. That was a $16,000 3-lifetime claimer at the distance back on February 14th. Timmy Hills is a trainer. Nick Juarez in the saddle. You did not go that way. You went to the outside today. Yeah. I'm liking this. I'm liking that we're not the same here. Tell me about the 11.
Yeah, the 11, I feel great. He closes from the outside, not too far back, going shorter. And so look for him to be tucking in. That was, the little thing against him is that can be, it's a short run to the turn, and you've got to get position. But also, I didn't think he's not a horse that has to be in front. So I liked him to get tucked in and, comes back at the level that he was claimed from, stretches out a little bit. by George Navarro, and he's consistently involved.
Yeah, and in this horse's second choice in the morning line, I did not use him, but I can totally understand why you have him on top of your ticket. But a horse I like in here is number 1 horse, and that's a Super Secret, 12-1 on the morning line. He's stretching out around 2 turns after returning from the layoff, to track the pace and flatten out late, when 5th. Against Similar, that was going 5 furlongs. He breaks from the rail. I think the stretch out today to this around 2 turns at 7.5 furlongs is going to see this horse prominently placed. He's got the shortest distance home breaking on the rail, and I just thought maybe a bit of a speed play in here at 12-1, so I threw that one on my ticket, trying to get nail that late pick 5 ticket with a little bit of a price horse here. So you were worried about the 11 horse, maybe it'll be too far out.
So
who do you go
with
and
the
say?
12.
You go with the 12 in second. Now that's rough passage. Now why did you
And
do
the
that?
comment on him is that he has to avoid getting hung out to dry. He is a speedy horse. I just really liked his chances in here. He's stretching further out here, but I don't think there's a ton of speed, so I think he's got a chance to get over there.
And it is not impossible to clear from those posts. We always say it's a tough outside post or something like that, but it's not impossible, especially if you have that tactical ability and you can get that early position, soon coming out of the gate. All of a sudden, post 12 doesn't matter that much. It depends how much you have to use the horse.
He'll be looking to follow the 11 as he gets over, too, for
so
sure.
She's going to the outside. I'm going from the inside there. We'll see how that works out. And I closed it out with the 3 Corinthian Summer, and this one is cutting back to 7.5. He vied for the lead. He settled for third versus 16, 3 lifetime competition, going a mile into 16. Kathy Mungian has Luca Panici handling the turn back in distance today, and you also used the number 2 and thinking in quality.
Yeah, thinking in quality. Dropping in here. He's got 1 under off the layoff, and this horse has just never seen this level of competition. Getting Zayas aboard, he's interested to ride the horse, so I liked his chances.
Well, we were totally different, and that's what we like to see.
And he's inside. He's
so
the
maybe we go with all in that particular race. So I did not use that on my ticket. Let's go to race number 7. 1 mile and 1/16. These are a maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and upward, and a horse that we've been following forever. We both have on top of our tickets Happy's Causeway, who was competitive with some of the best 3-year-old maidens at the championship meet. He's cutting back to a mile and a 16th. He finished that willing third, going a mile and an 8th last time out, and I think the class relief is the key to his success this afternoon. I mean, he was up there with some of the better horses running at the championship meet, so it looks like the logical choice in there. With that said, I'm not 100% sold. You know what I mean? I had to look for other things to do in here, as you did too. We're actually in agreement. What do you think about the 3?
Yeah, I mean, the 3, I think that he will sit a nice stalking trip, could even jump out to the lead. There's not a lot of speed in here, and he's been on the steady improve, this horse. He's run, as you said, with some of the best horses that we saw during the winter meet. And this is class relief right here.
Well, number 7, V's Boy, who we both have in second, is making his first journey around 2 turns after showing some late interest when rallying to finish 4th, his 6th furlong career debut. He is a $430,000 son of Unbridled Song. He's trained by Todd Pletcher. He's bred to love this distance and beyond. So good connections. It looks like he's beautifully bred to handle, certainly a mile and a 16.
Sure, and had that tightener in mid-March, which is, competition time. And I would think that he would move forward for leading trainer in the country, Todd Pletcher.
And number 4, Gandono. This one is a $360,000 4-year-old son of Lemon Drop Kid. Going to shift his focus today to the main track after rallying to finish 3rd against maiden special weight competition. That was going a mile on the turf last time out. It's Mark Hennick, Nick Juarez handling the surface switch this afternoon. This horse has a touch of class, and I think he can run well in here. He is going from turf to dirt. We'll see how he handles that transition.
Yeah, he had a 3rd in an off the turf in his only dirt try here. I thought for him, he may not get the help up front that would help his later kick. So.
Well, that is how we see race 7. So it's time to go to race number 8. And as I showed you my late pick 5 ticket. I had a single in this race, but first we'll give you the conditions of the race. Now, 5 furlongs on the turf, maidens, claimers, 3 and up, $16,000. Scratch both the number 13 and the number 14. And my single was path dependent, and this takes a little bit of nerve because I think you have a logical choice on your top of your ticket. But this one dropping to the 16 level, turning back to 5 furlongs after pressing the pace, giving way late, going a mile, versus $35,000 and $50,000 maidens, respectively. Mark Hennick, we just mentioned him in the last race. Nick Juarez handling the turn back in distance. I just think this horse finds this spot, $16,000 level, perfectly. I think he can carve out a nice trip from post number 9. But, you know, it's hard just to single this horse because the number 2, Don't Tell Him, is going to give the turf a try, and he's got a big shot.
Yeah, you know, path dependent was competitive. Was
right.
Much better last fall, and I think he'll be close up in here. He's going to shorten back to the distance that he liked. He liked it before. But Don't Tell Him, I thought this horse had speed, maybe sneaks away up front. The turf pedigree does not scream, yes, put me on the turf.
Right.
But they're going to give it a try.
Yeah, you know, as you mentioned, he's going to try the turf. He returned from about a 10-month layoff to set the pace and weekend to finish third. It was a 16,000 maiden test. That was moved from the grass to that,
right.
you know, main track, sealed sloppy track. Really respect the conditioner here, Dan Kubitsky. He's doing a great job. Arturo Vergara Jr. handling the surface switch today. Looks like they wanted him on the turf last time out. Didn't get that chance because of the inclement weather. So I think he's a major contender in there. And we're basically in agreement there. I had a single horse in there, so my ticket wasn't too expensive. But if you have the chance to go deeper in that late pick 5, you certainly should. The third horse I want to talk about is the number 4, Gia Ghost, who's going back to the grass. He had a well-meant second on the turf back on March 18th. He comes back, and he runs second in front of Don't Tell Him last time out on that, you know, rained out affair. So this horse ran well on the turf, ran okay on an off track, and it looks like he's in a nice spot today.
Yeah, probably, for me, it was, you know, 14 tries. But he's had some tough beats. He's been second, so that you know he's not like throwing in bad races. Right. He'll be stalking the pace. I thought he might prefer 7.5. Right. But I think this horse has got a good chance.
Yeah,
here.
and I think both of us having him in third have the same concerns that, you know, 14 tries. So he looks, you know, as we mention each and every day, we have exacta, trifecta, superfecta wagering all here. In one of these horses, you know, you add them on your ticket. So, and they jump up and beat you. And if you were here yesterday, you saw a lot of young long shots jumping up and beating everybody. Let's go to race number 9 this afternoon. This is 6 furlongs, an allowance optional claimer. It's state bred, 3-year-olds and upwards. The claiming level in here is $12,500. We're going to scratch the number 2 horse in here, Prague, and the horse that we want to talk about is a horse that I don't know if you have it. You do have it on your top of your ticket. This is one interesting horse. We're going to go back and show you his performance. This horse now in the Todd Pletcher bond. This is about 16 months ago. And our Limo Joe, this was his career debut, and he just comes up and he's running very well in here. And the story really is the horse that is in second, and that was J.S. Bach. J.S. Bach was highly regarded in this race, and this horse beats him first time out. Oh, by the way, J.S. Bach is also trained by Todd Pletcher, and he's 4 for 5 in his career. So they bought this horse. Hasn't been seen since that race, 16 months off, comes back as a gelding. They were very high on this horse, but it was a long time ago. A logical choice to be on top of the ticket.
Yeah, and you know what I thought about him, too? You know, sometimes you say, well, it's been a long time that he's been off. Yes, but he won first time out, and he'd never run. So that kind of balanced it for me in saying, you know, that I don't think he can do it off the layoff. He had the 1 hole from 12 in his debut, and he was impressive.
No, he's very impressive, and I've been waiting for a long time for him to come back. You know, he's absolutely belongs on all your tickets when you're putting those late pick 5 ticket or your Rainbow 6. But I did try and beat him with the number 1. We got our exacta flip-flop, and that looks good. Who looked good during his sophomore season last summer. He makes his 4-year-old debut, the first start since finishing second. That was in the $75,000 state bred Jackson Brand here last August. Kathleen O'Connell has the son of Circular Key working consistently at Gulfstream Park West. Want to go back and show you a stat on this horse. It's not positive as you would like to see it, especially when I put the horse on top of the ticket. She's 7 for 55, only 13%. 44% in the money, but only $1.43 RI. And this is where horse is returning from a longer than 180-day layoff on the dirt over the last 5 years. So it looks like, she usually gives them a race before they run, so we'll see how that works out. And our limo, Joe, certainly a horse that you have to have on your ticket. I use Looks Good on top, and I also use the number 9, Take Time to Pray, racing for the $12,500 tag in this allowance optional claimer, making his first starts in showing speed and fading. That was against 25 optional claimers here in January. Peter Walder removes the blinkers on this 5-time local winner. So Peter Walder brings horses back strongly off the layoff. You got so many different angles going on here. Horses haven't been seen since the summer, 16 months ago. Horses haven't run. So you also used the number 4 horse in here, and that is Restaurant.
Yeah, it changes now a little bit for me with the scratch of the 2, Prague, who had some speed, albeit I think cheaper speed, but did have speed. And I think that helps. Number 1 Looks Good because he has tactical speed and won't have that horse pressing in on him. And then Ross Durant, one of the things I liked about him was his ability to come from off the pace. I thought there was some speed in here that might come back and kind of mess with the classy speed horses in here. And he's got a decent close on him from not too far off.
Yeah, and you never know, horses that haven't run in a while, if they're going to get a little leg weariness stretch, it might set up for a horse that likes to come from off the pace. So with that said, we'll go to our final race on Saturday's card, and that is race number 10. 5 1/2 furlongs maiden claim is 3 are up. $12,500. Scratch the 12, 15, and number 16. And I have the number 7, Rock My Soul, on top of the ticket. And always did. I did not have 12 on my ticket today. And when I saw he's the morning long favorite, I said, uh-oh, I might have missed something here, but he scratched. So I get to look at him another day. Rock My Soul, turning back to 5 1/2 furlongs, going to wear blinkers today after stalking the pace, finishing third against this level of competition, going 3/4 of a mile. Sounds good and everything, but I think this race is totally wide open. And you have the 7 now on top of your ticket, Rock My Soul.
Yeah, I do, and I liked his stalking style in a race. If I was someone who just played names, I'd be playing him too, because that's my kind of name. But seriously, this race kind of lacks real speed, and he might like the slow fractions. It's not like a horse that he's got to have that speed up front to run into.
Well, same thing with me. If there was a, just playing horses that had great names, I would definitely use the 5 in here, and that's Alsvid Golfaxi. I don't know what that
really?
means.
Okay.
This one who faced maiden special weight competition in his only previous race on the dirt. So what I like about this horse tried the dirt only once, way over his head, after you saw how he ran in the race. He's going back to the main track. He showed speed, he retreated. That was against $35,000 maidens, going 5 furlongs on the turf. He's a speed play against this level of competition. And the only time he tried the dirt was, against considerably tougher competition. So he's basically debuting here at the 12-5 level on the dirt. So I thought he was a logical contender, and you have him on your ticket too. Then you went to the inside here with the number 1 horse, that's Grand Nice.
Yes, and Grand Nels?
No, Nels. No,
Nels, yeah. And he's shown a little bit of ability with Tougher than he meets here. The horse that I had picked was Scratch, so I moved him up into my 3rd spot, and I thought that that he had a chance in here from. He's met a little bit tougher horses. And I also had liked number 5, Alsvid Golfaxi, not because of his name, but just because I thought he looked like he might be the speed, as you said, the speed to sneak away in here.
Yeah, and I thought that. And then the first time starter I threw on my ticket, and that's the number 9, Valid Dude, is the son of First Dude, debuting for Kathy Ridfo with a consistent if not ultra swift morning workout tab showing, Tote Action might tell us more where this
Right.
horse if is ready to go in here. But they're wide open affair, so maybe I throw a first-time starter and then help with my late super high 5 ticket. So that is how Abby and I see Saturday's 10-race card. Once again, please note we're starting today with a good main track, good turf course. Should be a lot of fun. We're about to turn it over to our track announcer, Gabe Pruitt, and we'll be back in just a little bit to give you some, I guess, good information, we hope at least.
More good information, yes.